Now I would like to explain how we are using classes and objects to write a program. So the classes and objects are the basic concepts of the OOPs. To implement the classes and objects, I am going to be consider the C++ language. So this is the object-oriented programming language. In this one, I am trying to implementing classes and objects. We know that the class is a user-defined data type. So for that reason, here I am going to be consider a class ex1, that means example1. In this class, I am going to be consider three variables. One is integer, and another one is the float, and another one is also a float. So I consider three variables. I am adding these two variables and the result to be stored in this variable, right? To perform, we know that these are known as the data members. To perform the operations on this one, I use three functions known as member functions. One is the input, another one is the output, and another one is the CALC, that means to calculate addition. So this function is to send the data to the data members. This function is used to display. This function used to manipulate the data which is in the data members. We know that these are the member functions, right? So now I am exhibiting this one directly on a C++ online compiler. Please show, and after I am writing each and every line, I am explain to you. Okay, right? So this is my online C++ compiler. It generally like a C compiler. Here also hash include std hash include iostream.h, and we are writing using namespace std. Now I am defining a class ex1, and class will be begin with the braces. In this one, I declare a integer data a and floating point data b, and for adding these two, the result is in also floating value. I declare floating c. Okay, friends. Now I am going to be declare the member functions. Right? To declare the member functions, I specify the access specifiers. Right? I am going to serve the access specifiers that are public, private, and protected. Here I am going to write public. What is the public, private, and protected access specifiers? I will discuss later when I am discussing the C++ subject. Now I write the one member function void input to take the input. That means it will not take any return type. So for that reason, before I write the void. Okay, here I write the void. Next, void CALC to make the calculations on the data, and next finally I write void output. Okay, friends, here, and this is the end of the class. The end of the class will be ended with the closing brace followed by the semicolon, right? So in this class, what I am doing, I am defining the data members as well as I am defining the member functions. Okay, friends. Now I try to write the main program, right? Void, or suppose it returns integer int main. Okay, the main is also be started. We know that every C++ program executed started from the main. I am representing an object of the class type ex1 of x. So where x is an object of class type ex1, right? Now to send the data into the x, I first call the input function as x dot input, right? I call this one. Each and every sentence or instruction ended with the semicolon in C++ also. And to perform the calculation, I call x dot calc, this member function. And to display the output, I call x dot output. So this is another member function, right? This is return 0 because I say that the return value of the main is integer. So I say here return 0. If there is no error, it returns the 0. The main program is also completed. Friends, you should remember our previous video. Here, this is the data abstraction. That means here we are not completely write the code, how we take the input and how we are perform the calculations and how the output is generated. So this is the data abstraction. In the class we are right here only the x, the values in the x, that is ABC, is accessed by these three functions: input, calculation, output. So the data in the x is surrounded by the code. So we in our previous video what we are going to be represent, I show to you, that is the class object. Now x is a object which consisting of a, b and c, right? X, this is the x object. So by writing the code to the input function, right, here we write some code, right, where enter the values to a value may be 10, b value may be 5.3, right? By writing the code calc, right, we are going to be calculating 10 plus 5 10 plus 5.3, that equal to 15.3, that is also in the x, right? Again by writing the code to the output function, right, these values are displayed on the screen. So you can remember that here the data or the object x, or that simply we are write the data, is surrounded by the three functions, that is input, and another one is the output, and another one is the calculate, calc. So only these three function can access the data within the x. So okay friends, this is the data abstraction and also one example for the data encapsulation. Now again I back to the online compiler, right? Here I am going to be write the definitions for the program, right? Now I am going to write void ex1, right, two colons. This is known as the scope resolution operator input. So the input is the function which is the part of this class, right? The input is the function in ex1 and it will not return anything, void. So I write input is the member function belongs to ex1 class, it not return something. So here I write the code for this one and I call this function here in the main program, right? So how I am write cout. Cout is a output statement. I write that enter a value, right? And I type backslash n, which is sent to the next line, right? C in, I write simply a, and then C out, enter b value, right? And again I write like that backslash n, sorry, right? C in B, right? So this input function is over. So definition of the input function. Definition means we write the code for the input function. And now I write the code for the calculation function void calc. Oh, sorry, void. This is also belongs to class ex1 calc. Okay, friends. Now how I am going to be write here? I write C out. Just I write here we perform calculation. Actually, right? I write backslash n, right? And I am going to perform C equal to A plus B. So here we are not going to be write anything, any output here. So this function definition is also be over. Now I write the final one, output function, that also not written anything and that belongs to the ex1 class. So I write ex1 scope resolution operator output. Okay friends, how I am going to write this one? Right, C out, right, I say that value of A is I given, right, and A and backslash n, right, and C out value of B is and B and backslash n. I write output C out sum of A and B is, that is in C, sorry, C, right, again I write backslash n. So this code is also be over. So okay friends, I define three functions, right, right, I go to about this one to explain easily. I write a class. In class there are three variables ABC, and to give the data to the all this one, I am going to write three functions. Input function assign the value to A and B, calculate function to perform the calculations on A and B, and output function to print A value, B value and C. Only these three functions can able to access these three variables. No outside function is able to access. So this is also a data abstraction. I simply write the first of all I define the object X of the type of class ex1. So here the class name is ex1, right? I simply call the input to enter the values into the object X and calculate and print the output. So this is after main function, I write this one. Now I try to execute this code. Please observe, right? So you can observe here, right? Enter a value. Now I enter a value equal to 12. Right, enter b value equal to 13.456 because I am given as a float. Now here we perform the calculation, that means this calculation function is called and calculation is performed, but I print the output in another function. Please, right, calculation 12 sum of A and B is 12.6. So okay friends, you can understand this one, this code. So I am also once again I am explain, right. So I take the one more print, right. So I define the class, I define the again class ex1, sorry, class ex1. In ex1, data members are there and member functions are there. Only these member functions access these data items. In main program, I am hide the all the details and I simply call the objects of the class type ex1 X. So where X is the object of class EX1 type. Now what it call? X consisting of the A value, A and B and C and input function and calculation function and output function. So these three, right? When I'm executing the code, that is input function, the input function given the values to A, that is C in, that is the input command A. So A equal to 12 assigned, C in B, right? In this one, in the code, that is I am going to be assigned that equal to 13.5, right? When I am write the calculation function CALC, I am going to be add A plus B equal to C, that equal to 25.5, right? What happened to the output function? When I am write the output function, it displays the value of a cout is the output command in C++, cout b and cout c. These values are displayed. That means these three functions, output function, calculation function and input function, these three functions act on the object x. This object x belongs to the class ex1 type, right? This object x belongs to the class ex1 type. Okay friends, I hope you can understand this video how to write the C++ programs by using classes and objects. Okay friends, bye.